While we are all aware that a good watch will set you back a decent amount, some timepieces make even a $20,000 price tag seem like chump change. Whether they're covered in diamonds or exquisitely created for royalty, these dominating watches are the most expensive in the world. Girard-Perregaux Quasar Light Tourbillon £300,000. As part of a limited edition release of the signature Quasar model, the light model is one of just 18 worldwide. Which doesn't sound all that special. After all, big fancy watch marques do this all the time. Girard-Perregaux accrues its cool £300,000 price tag, however, thanks to its tourbillon movement, composed of 79 different parts. It took over 200 hours of work, hundreds of operations and techniques honed over the course of 200 years. That sort of skill doesn't come cheap. Chopard LUC All-in-One Janus Watch £374,000. Chopard is known as one of the horological greats, and with good reason. After winning Watch of the Year for their LUC Full Strike at the 2017 Geneva Watchmaking Grand Prix, the marque dropped a familiar, yet no less exciting, watch the following year, with a price tag to match. The LUC All-in-One combines exclusivity with well-known myth. Only 10 watches in each edition, rose gold and platinum, were made. But the stimulus behind them is one most people will be familiar with. Inspired by the Roman god Janus, famed for his two faces, this watch has two dials. It also bears some godly insides, too, with features that include a perpetual calendar, astronomical readings and a tourbillon. A complex rotating mechanical system which takes great skill to make. Sure, it may set you back a hefty £374,000 or more, depending on the exchange rate. But it's safe to say you can't put a price on divine power. Mater's Du Temps Chapter 1 Round Transparents £404,000. TikTok Supremos Mater's Du Temps are famous for bringing together some of the most exceptional watchmakers in the world to collaborate on game-changing models, and the Chapter 1 Round Transparents is the perfect example. A mishmash of idiosyncratic design and varying schools of horology, read. Watchmaking, the Chapter 1 is both classic and complex. That's not to mention the 18K red gold case and limited edition engraving that really sets it apart. Only 11 models were made. At a wallet-demolishing £404,000, it stands out as a much sought-after tribute to the industry's fascinating past and exciting future. Christophe Claret Dual-Tone Night Eagle £445,000. If Batman wore a watch, this would be it. Not only is it packed out with gadgetry, but it also looks moodier than a 14-year-old boy at a garden center. Limited to 68 pieces, the Night Eagle is a modified version of the earlier dual-toe concept. The time is told on two revolving belts, no, not utility belts, and the movement offers a chronograph with a special planetary gear system. It also features tourbillons, a mechanism that helps to counter the effect of gravity within the watch. A mini gong and hammer for its chime, and 65 jewels shimmering from within its dark color scheme. Bruce Wayne's probably reaching for his checkbook right now. This one's nice and all, but it's a little on the nose. George Daniels Coaxial Chronograph £463,000. A more classic and minimalist style compared to the other pieces on this list. But why would the most important watchmaker of the 20th century need to be brash? George Daniels only produced a few dozen timepieces within his life. But his most important contribution to the industry was the invention of the coaxial escapement system, which he later sold to Omega. It was revolutionary for a number of very geeky reasons, but most importantly it allowed for longer times between servicing. The one-of-a-kind George Daniel coaxial chronograph sold for $619,000 at auction in 2012. And for good reason, it's a piece of bona fide history. Bulgari Magsonic Sonnery Tourbillon Watch £464,000. When Italian jewelry company Bulgari purchased Swiss watch brand Gerald Genta, the most celebrated and money-spinning result was this: the Magsonic Sonnery Tourbillon. It's as loud as it proud and contains enough ultra-complicated functionality for the proper heads among us. Notably an array of chimes that have been enhanced by a special Magsonic alloy. That's a special metal that supposedly enhances the sound of music, although don't throw away your AirPods just yet. At £620,000, it'll make just as much impact on your wrist as it will on your life savings. Ulysse Nardin Hannibal Minute Repeater Tourbillon £571,000. It would appear watchmakers have an appreciation for Roman culture. The Ulyss Narton Hannibal Minute Repeater Tourbillon, that's a mouthful, includes a motif nodding to the Hannibalic War. However, the engraving is not the only thing that makes this watch so extravagant and expensive. Every component is hand-finished, from the main plate to the top bridge. The watch boasts a Westminster minute repeater, which, if you were unaware or not a music aficionado, is no normal minute repeater. It has a unique musical system like Big Ben's, albeit, hopefully, much quieter. With complex intricacies and a grand design, you get big thrills within a small watch. Albeit at the even bigger price tag of around £571,000. Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Grand Complication £741,600. Audemars Piguet has previous when it comes to crafting head-spinning cocktails of complications, shop talk for features. In fact, it's probably been doing it longer than any existing watch manufacturer. But the Grand Complication is undoubtedly its best yet. The fiddly insides are all hand-finished, cut out and bead blasted with polished bevels, and feature a matte surface underneath. This is all accompanied by a wealth of features, including split-second chronograph, perpetual calendar and a minute repeater. And what's more, it looked bloody lovely too. The titanium model will set you back more than £700k. But can you really put a price on style? Yes. Yes, you can. But it's okay to stare a little longer. Rolex Paul Newman Ref. 6264, John Player Special £1.145 million. Nicknamed after the colors of the John Player Special sponsored Formula One Lotus car. The Rolex Ref. 6264 is allegedly just one of 10 made in black and yellow gold. It's rarer still to see one such piece available to buy. So, when the Paul Newman Daytona went on auction at Sotheby's, it smashed its original estimate to reach a staggering £1.145 million final bid, making it the most expensive watch to ever sell at UK auction. Frank Muller Eternitas Mega 4 £1.8 million. With 36 different complications, 1,483 individual components, a 1,000-year calendar and a wealth of other eclectic features. The Frank Muller Eternitas has the potential to leave you as confused as a modern polling expert. Labeled as the master of complications by ticker aficionados, the Swiss watchmaker has managed to cram an unprecedented number of utilities into the Mega 4 model, which also features a glass sapphire case back and a piece of tourbillon on the dial. Check out this guide to its myriad functions to get an idea of just how much of an engineering feat this is. A. Lang & Son Grand Complication £1.97 million. Glashit watch mark A. Lang & Son debuted its most expensive watch, the Grand Complication, in 2013. The model, of which only 6 have been made, takes over a year to craft due to the sheer complexity of its construction. The 20mm thick gold case contains 876 moving parts, all measuring in at a diameter of 50mm. The inspiration came from the Grand Complication number 42500, a pocket watch dating back to 1902. The updated version features a minute repeater, a grand and small strike, a perpetual calendar and a rattrapante chronograph function with flying seconds. Also referred to as split seconds chronographs, which allows you to time simultaneous events. It's a pricey implementation, and A. Lang & Son is one of the very few brands that makes them in-house. Alright. That's it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.